I gotta take this piece of trash off. GZTV, welcome to another video. Yeah, we're back. This is the second of 3 videos we're gonna have today. Football's been going on all day, so I've kind of been watching that. But unfortunately, the Packers take another L, and they're 3-4. We will talk about all that stuff this coming Tuesday when we do our This Week in the NFL video, of course. But we have Better Call Saul to talk about right now. Pretty big episode here, a guest appearance by a pretty popular Breaking Bad character that had some iconic moments in the series. So it's really dope to see him, and we will talk about him in a little bit here. Sorry I have the hiccups, but let's get into the plot and stuff, and we'll get to it. Nacho Varga takes Jimmy McGill to Lalo Salamanca, who knows of Jimmy's reputation from his cousin Tuco Salamanca. Tuco kind of told Lalo all about Jimmy, and yeah, a lot of people in Albuquerque know this guy and what he can do and how he can manipulate people, so he is the guy for this. Lalo wants Jimmy to get Domingo Molina released from jail. Crazy 8, of course, kind of get him out, kind of finesse his way around the things with the case, and, that sort of thing. And it really does seem like this show is starting to narrow down towards Breaking Bad. They're doing really good at transitioning it into that storyline. And I think I will rewatch Breaking Bad. I think that would be a really fun time. But, yeah. Jimmy quotes Lalo an exorbitant fee, and is surprised when Lalo readily pays cash in advance. Now, Lalo and them have quite a bit of money. They have quite a drug business going on. So I think it is pretty affordable for Lalo and them, which is why he doesn't hesitate in taking the deal and whatnot. So, yeah, there's that. Mike Ehrmantraut gets drunk at the bar he once visited with Werner Ziegler. Yeah, the exact one with the nightclub right next to it, where Kai got in trouble, stuff like that. So kind of brings up some bad memories, things he wants to forget about. Yeah, obviously he built a relationship with Werner, and he feels really bad that he had to shoot Werner, but yeah, it had to be done. He was like, take that picture off the wall because of the opera house in Sydney, because Werner's father designed it, and he doesn't want a reminder of Werner at this bar. And the guy says, no, you can't do it. But Mike is very adamant. He's like, take it down. On his way home, a gang of thugs attempt to rob him, but he breaks the leader's arm and calmly walks off. Kind of a badass scene for Mike. I haven't really been a big fan of how Mike has been acting. He never really acted like this in Breaking Bad. Now he just kind of has this desperate phase, this weird depressed state in Better Call Saul that I never thought I'd see him have. But yeah, I don't know. Nacho's father, Manuel Varga, reveals that someone has offered to buy his upholstery shop for more than it is worth, so he could possibly get a profit, possibly retire, and yeah, live his life with the money from the shop. Yeah. Manuel accuses Nacho of arranging the deal, refuses to accept, and says he will not flee. He will not leave the state. He will not leave anything. If he gets shot, he wants to make sure his son is to blame for it. His son needs to be held accountable. He's trying to kind of teach his son some lessons. Dude, you got to take some authority. You got to take things into your own hands sometimes. Yeah. He tells Nacho that if Nacho is in trouble, then Nacho should decide for himself whether to run or turn himself into the police, kind of fight or flight type of thing. Those are the decisions that Nacho needs to make himself, and his father makes it known. Yeah. Jimmy meets with Domingo in jail and explains Lalo's plan. Look, you're not gonna snitch on anybody. You're not gonna tell anything. You're not gonna tell them about the dead drops. Nothing like that. We just want you to give them very broad stuff, and obviously not lie, because, yeah, I don't know. When Drug Enforcement Administration DEA agents Hank Schrader and Steve Gomez arrive, Jimmy steps in as Domingo's lawyer, Saul Goodman, and arranges for Domingo to be released as an informant in exchange for providing the DEA with details of Gus Fring's dead drops. So he's pretty much teaming up against Gus Fring, and yeah, he pretty much wants Domingo to snitch on Gus Fring, but Domingo, I don't know, man. Yeah, Hank Schrader and Steve Gomez being introduced into Better Call Saul is so fucking cool. Now, I'm not sure if they're ever really going to come back. I know they're going to be dealing with this case, but I don't know. And it's kind of crazy because Gus Fring's kind of in the crosshairs. Like, Lalo and them want to frame him for his drug operation for them so they can escape it. Jimmy reports to Lalo, who is pleased, while Nacho warns Jimmy that once he begins working for drug dealers, there is no turning back. He's going to have to finish what he started. I mean, they paid him fucking $8,000, or like $7,000, $8,000. So, obviously, he should be finishing it anyway. Nacho reports Domingo's release to Gus and explains Lalo's plans for the dead drops. So pretty much he's telling Gus that Domingo plans on snitching on him, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Probably doesn't abide well with Gus. We should probably know that by now. Yeah, Gus decides to maintain the drops because doing otherwise would reveal to Lalo that someone's providing inside information about the Salamancas. He doesn't want Lalo to know that people are like betraying him. He doesn't want to throw anybody into harm's way. He doesn't want to cause any stir-ups. That type of thing. But moving on to Kim Wexler, because she has quite a situation here. She has quite a few moments as an attorney during this episode. So Kim Wexler has a full day of pro bono cases, but Rick Schweikart demands she takes care of pressing Mesa Verde business. That's obviously why she was hired to Schweikart and Coakley to deal with like the banking affairs and whatnot. So those should be her top priority. Pro bono is probably for other associates. A Tucumcari homeowner, Everett Acker, is refusing to leave property leased from the bank so that the bank can construct a new call center. So, they're building this big-ass, like, call center. They're, like, driving people out of the places. Like, she shows up and there's, like, houses fucking... just the foundation of a bunch of houses left behind. And, yeah, Acker's the only one, like, left behind, right? Acker refuses to compromise, and Kim angrily tells him he has no choice. She, like, enforces it. She's like, look, you have to do this. And I really like the pride that Kim puts into her confrontation with this guy. I think it's great. Obviously, you feel bad for an old man that has to get driven off his property, but that's just how things are. And, yeah. Kim makes sure he let him know. Paige Novick is happy with Kim's tough approach, but Kim is troubled. She kind of feels bad. She kind of feels like sympathetic for the guy almost. On her way home, she turns around and returns to Tucumcari. She approaches Acker sympathetically, tries to convince him to move, and offers to help him herself. Like, she wants to help him out. She feels for him. Like, she never even has had a house. Like, Acker rejects her offer and tells her she will say whatever is necessary to get what she wants. Like, this guy just isn't understanding. He's kind of an asshole. Like, you kind of look at him as an asshole, but at the same time, like, you feel bad for him. It's kind of conflicting. Kim vents her frustration by throwing beer bottles from her balcony with Jimmy, so that's kind of how it ends. She has, like, this bonding moment with Jimmy. Really interesting stuff. Critical acclaim, of course. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.3 out of 10. 14 reviews. Better Call Saul gifts viewers with a welcome hunk of Hank Schrader in an otherwise ominous chapter that illustrates how the forces of darkness are enclosing around Jimmy and Kim like ants on an ice cream. And there's like a really cool opening sequence with like the ants on the ice cream. Really cool symbolism there. They're slowly like losing a grip on their law services, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird. Kim's starting to go down a path where she's like manipulating people and, getting pissed at people, kind of breaking down. The music supervision for this episode was nominated for a Primetime Creative Art Emmy Award at the 72nd ones. I'm not even sure what year that was, but whatever. But yeah, really good episode. I do like that they brought Hank back because it gives us like glimpses of the Breaking Bad storyline kind of returning. So it's really cool. There hasn't been a bigger character return since Gus Fring. So, yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Jesus TV. I gotta go watch some football. Enjoy the rest of my day. Probably watch some basketball later on in the night as well. So, yeah. Everybody stay safe out there. Have a good rest of your weekend. It's a Sunday. I know it's kind of closing down. Not too happy as a Packers fan.